You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, welcome back to our second part of our show, Ask the Master Auto Technician. This is Tuesday after Thanksgiving, after Christmas. You know, we're going to be closed during the week of Christmas. We're actually closed from the 24th all the way to January 2nd. So if you're watching this show, we're closed. James Auto Center will be closed during the Christmas holidays. Everybody at James Auto Center gets a paid vacation for an entire week. That's right, and that paid vacation comes out of the profits from the shop. So I have people say, man, you're a little higher than that guy down the street. I said, well, you know, I have to take care of my employees. I have to make sure that they're taken care of. It costs a lot to take care of people and have the right equipment, have the right training. He said, well, I can go get my radiator coolant exchange down there for only $49.95. And I said, well, that's wonderful. I think you should go there. Well, why are they so much cheaper? And I said, you might want to ask them if they're putting the right coolant in your car. And I get this kind of like, what coolant? What do you mean coolant? Right coolant. Coolant. No, it's not coolant. You may have a car that calls for hybrid organic acid technology, or HOAT. You may have another one that calls for OAT, organic acid technology. You may have another one that calls for inorganic acid technology. And a lot of people go, whoa. Now you've got IAT, OAT, HOAT. Wait a minute. That's antifreeze's job is to keep it from freezing. No, it's not its job completely. That's just one part of it. It's not to keep the car's coolant from freezing. It is an important part when it drops below freezing. But it's also to help get rid of heat, to make sure the car doesn't boil over in the summertime. Remember, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. We got agreement on that. That shouldn't be very hard to do, but you've got a pressurized system on your vehicle. If you just have straight water in your system that is not pressurized, it would boil over at 212. And most cars, front-wheel drive cars, operate around 224 to 225 in that area before the electric cooling fan comes on. So before the electric cooling fan would come on, your car would be steaming and running hot. So they pressurize the system with between the 13 to 16 pound radiator cap, holds pressure on it, and you put a 50-50 mixture of distilled water and coolant in it, giving that 50-50 mixture of nothing but distilled water, which has nothing but H2O in it, hydrogen and oxygen molecules in it, no calcium, no travertine, no sodium, no magnesium, no salt, no chloride, no fluoride, none of these things that come out of tap water or well water. Okay, none of those things, and it's mixed with mixed with coolant, and you turn around and you completely exchange all of it. You're doing two things. You're protecting the metal, which is important. Antifreeze, you're keeping it from boiling over, you're keeping it from freezing, and you're protecting the plastic parts in here. Now I've got people out there go, plastic parts, they don't get eaten up. Oh boy, do they get eaten up. Plastic parts get eaten up by the organic acid technology. That type, or hybrid organic acid technology, they take the strength or the backbone of the rigidity of the nylon 6.6 nylon gaskets or impellers or radiator tanks. Those are nylon 6.6. That's what they're called. That's the chemical makeup of it. What it does when the temperature reaches 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and you go, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, my car didn't get that hot. It does when you shut it off in the summertime. Trust me, it does. Not for very long, just for a few seconds, and it gets up there. So that's why you need to have a 50-50 mixture of distilled water and coolant to ensure that you're getting the proper minerals and vitamins for your vehicle, so you're not going to have a problem with overheating, eating metal, or causing problems with corrosion, galvanization, or heater core failure, which I've had a plethora of problems the last few weeks with heater core problems. And that's something that can be avoided, and we can talk about that later after I talk to Eddie with this 2004 GMC 5.3 liter Sierra. Eddie, what is your question about your Sierra?
Yes, sir. I've got two problems that are kind of intermittent.
Okay.
I've had it for years, and it started where you got to crank it up, and you turn the key, and nothing would happen. The lights would work, interior, exterior, but you couldn't get anything to happen. I couldn't hear anything on the Bendix.
Okay, you couldn't hear any sound. You put the key in, turn the key, nothing happens. Okay, go ahead. All right.
And so keep doing that a few minutes until it finally cranks up. And then not too long afterwards, this year, it went with an issue when you pull the key out when the radio was on. normally the radio shuts off.
Right.
It wouldn't shut off. Or if I opened my door, the radio would keep running,
Mm-hmm.
keep, staying on. And these are intermittent issues. This the key issue with the cranking up was the first one.
Well, the first one, normally, here's what I want you to do. Next time this doesn't happen to you, I just want you to put the key in the ignition, turn the key to on, and just stop. Don't do anything. And if you try to start it, it doesn't start. Just turn the key to on and look at your dash and see if you see the theft light blinking. Do you see that theft light blinking sometimes?
I haven't noticed it.
I want you to look at it. More than likely what's happening is having to do a key relearn. There will be a code in the body control module or the powertrain control module in this car. This car has about 15 computers on it, and it'll be a 16 code. It'll be P16 whatever, probably P1626, and it's going to tell you got a problem with your pass lock. That's probably one area that I'm going to look at. And I can, you can see that. The other area with your radio not shutting off and things like that, like they're supposed to, that could, everything on your car from the ignition switch that we're talking about, all goes through your body control module first. From your body control module first, then it goes to the computer, powertrain control module computer, and the transmission, all that. There may be a problem with the body control module. There could be a reprogramming for it because your car is a 2004. It's 12 years old. I know, and I work on these cars all the time, I know that about every couple of years, General Motors comes up with a handy-dandy repair for problems like you're talking about by doing a reprogramming, by just changing the software around. And that may be all you need. But how you find this out is bringing it to a shop like mine, James Auto Center. We go get a request code out of the computer, go to the manufacturer's website and go, here's this guy's car's computer. Is there any request from General Motors to update this? And then it will come back with yay or nay, and then we can make a decision, do we need to go there first? Because I would recommend doing that before you changed any parts on this vehicle, because I got a feeling if it's intermittent, it's all what it is. It's a matter of electrons not working correctly, or there's a software glitch or something like that. Because you say you put the key in, nothing happens. 5-10 minutes later, it starts up. That could be a pass lock problem, or it could be the body control module looking at the key, or with the doors when you open the door, the radio not shutting off. That could all be pinpointed back to the body control module. Are you having any problems with the battery going dead if you let the car sit for 3 or 4 days?
No.
Okay, good, wonderful. That's another common. That's another common problem with these. And the other common problem with these is the speedometers and the clusters. They act weird. Sometimes the gauges just don't work right. That's the other common problem with the 2004 to 2005 GMCs and Silverados and Sierras out there that I've seen. But other than that, they're fantastic trucks with that 5.3, so long as you continue to run full synthetic oil in it. I know your car didn't call for it, but that same engine in 2008 did. That's why I really recommend you continue to use. That's
what I use.
Wonderful. If you do that, I'll never tear into that engine to change a valve, to change a timing chain or a lifter. I
use a K&N oil filter.
Well, that's a great oil filter. I just don't recommend you using a K&N air filter. But the oil filter is great. The reason I don't recommend the K&N air filter is because
I do have the air filter. What's the issue with that?
The issue with that is you clean them with soap and water and you spray them down with oil, and that oil will come off and get on the mass airflow sensor.
Right. I do clean it occasionally.
And that's what happens. And if you do run a K&N filter, you need to have either steam that you can clean your mass airflow. I use hot steam. That's redundant. That's redundant.
What about
hot
the
steam.
spray cleaner that
it works. I mean, it works. I used to use that a lot. I did. I used to think that was pretty good stuff until my wife bought me one of these little handy-dandy little small portable steamers for doing curtains and things like that. It's got a little nozzle on it.
I do have one.
I use that. I quit using the expensive mass airflow sensor cleaner because it wouldn't remove some of the stuff on there that steam will remove. Steam will remove anything that's petroleum product, and it will remove dirt. Where this mass airflow sensor cleaner only removes things that are oil-based. It won't remove dirt. That's what
I'd be better getting away from the K&N.
I would recommend it, sir. I would recommend that you put back a stock filter, clean your mass airflow sensor good, and now, if you're really conscientious and you do this, it's fine. But the K&N filter doesn't have enough filtration. And
Oh, really?
it really doesn't. And to prove my point, when you take that air filter back off, between the air filter and the throttle body, just take your hand, reach in there and pull back and look at your fingers. You're going to see your fingers are completely covered with a fine dust. And that
Within that tube?
And that fine dust is going in your engine. And that's what we call dusting an engine. And engineers, when they see that, they just shake their head and go, this was avoidable. And this,
I just cleaned my throttle body a couple weeks ago.
and between the throttle body and the air cleaner, you know what I'm talking about, that tube, just put your hand in there and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you had a regular air filter, a paper air filter from General Motors, a high quality one, or even Napa, that's sprayed with a special coating on there, you won't see that. You really won't see that. I see this all the time, and that's how I prove to customers. I said, look, let me show you what's wrong with the air filter. I show them the dust. I said, let's put you a regular air filter in. When I see you for your next oil change, we're going to do the same test. Well, they come in here, they pull the air filter back. I put my hand down there, and they go, wow, there's no dust. I said, there's a reason I'm telling you to get away from the K&N filter right there. But Mark Sarla, who's an automotive engineer, introduced me to this a few years ago, saying, hey, you really don't want to run K&N filters because they cause transmission problems. I go, transmission problems? They go, yep. If they get coated with, on Corvettes, if they get coated with that oil, they'll cause it to shift funny and can burn up the transmission. And General Motors had a technical service bulletin out about 10 years ago and saying, if a car comes in, a Corvette comes in, or any car comes in with a K&N, with a reusable oil bath filter, is what they called it. If they come in with one of those right there, and you got a transmission problem, look at the mass airflow sensor. If the mass airflow sensor is contaminated and it caused the transmission to tear up, there's no warranty on it. That's what they were saying. So that's why
they must have improved these mass airflow sensors.
They have.
I had an '88 Camaro. And I had to change that about once a year.
That's because you had a different type of mass airflow sensor on the Camaro. You had a hot wire on it that got hot and burned off everything. And what would happen is people would shut their car off and go slam the hood. And when they'd slam the hood, when it was white hot, the wire would break.
Yeah, you could tap on those things and know if they were bad.
My point exactly. My point exactly. They've changed that. You don't have that anymore because they got tired of having to replace them under warranty, because when the car would be shut off, they would send a power. You had a mass airflow sensor relay that actually turned around and made it get white hot to burn off any of the impurities that come on from a K&N filter or anything like that. But when it was white hot and you slam the hood, you know what happens when you hit a light bulb.
They were cheaper back then.
They were. Right now, they're not cheaper anymore. But what they do to clean them, even the manufacturer doesn't use cleaner. They use steam is all they use.
Glad you told me that.
You take that hot steam, you put it on there, and you just steam the heck out of it, both sides of it. Give it about 5 minutes to air dry, stick it back on there, and then go disconnect your battery and take your negative cable and touch the positive cable, and that will reset your fuel trim adaptives.
When I was in the Marine Corps, we used steam to clean a lot of our stuff.
Well, congratulations. I used steam to clean a lot of things when I was in the Navy too, but I didn't have to do the terrible jobs that the Marine Corps had to do. All I had to do was put y'all on the beach and then go back to the ship and pick up more Marines and put them on the beach. That was my whole job in the Marine Corps. I'm glad I didn't have to do what y'all had to do. I did not like that.
We appreciated you.
Well, I'm glad I did. Thank you so much. I'm glad I didn't have to go play Marine Corps soldier. I did not. I did not enjoy marching around and eating sea rats. Where all my buddies, they said, you were lucky to be aboard the Navy. And I said, yeah, at least I get a hot meal, 3 hot meals a day and a place to sleep that's warm. Hey, thank you so much for calling, Eddie. We'll talk to you next week. And let me know what you found out, okay? Or just stop on by, okay? Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Hey, this is James Morris. Happy New Year to all you people out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.